privilege to introduce the Founding Mothers Movement, building the mother of all movements. Introducing Reverend Laura George. JD is Executive Director of the Oracle Institute, a think tank and educational charity focused on the intersection of religion, politics, human rights, and conscious evolution. She leads Oracle Temple and co-founded the Valley of Light micro-community at the Peace Pentagon in Virginia, where Oracle runs a publishing house, spirituality school, and peace practice. Author of the award-winning Oracle Trilogy, Laura now spearheads the Founding Mothers Movement, a global initiative to secure women's rights and end war. The FMM launched on July 5th, 2024, with a mission to transition from patriarchy to peace, culminating in the Founding Mothers Proclamation on October 2nd, 2024, International Day of Nonviolence. Welcome, Laura George. Welcome. Next up, we have Karuna Caroline Ashley. She is founder of Light on Light Publications, host of the Convergence series of Voice America, and editor of Light on Light's magazine, author of Light on Kundalini. She is an ordained wisdom keeper in Vedic and Native American traditions, offering sessions on healing and nonviolence. As a teacher of the Aquarian Trainer Academy with the Kundalini Research Institute, Karuna brings devotion, compassion, and depth to her Kundalini yoga practice. Formerly a Ford model and Bristol Old Vic alum, she is based in Boulder, Colorado, and serves in the Peace Room of the Founding Mothers Movement. Can't wait to hear from Karuna. And next, grandmother Ajna Fleury is a spiritual activist, counselor, healer, and ceremonialist from the Great Sioux Nation, serving as first peace ambassador for the Crow Creek Sioux tribe. Founder of the Crow Creek Unki Grandmother Society and Healing Hearts at Wounded Knees, Ajna is dedicated to ending war and fostering peace. She is also part of the Council of Eagle, Condor, Quetzal, and Colibri, and an international coordinator for 4 Worlds Holistic Health. A former University of Minnesota faculty member, she holds degrees in nursing and counseling, psychology, and serves in the Peace Room of the Founding Mothers Movement. Would y'all please help me make a warm welcome for these 3 wonderful women that are here to inspire, educate, and just really give us so much love. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us this evening. We are delighted to be here. We are excited to be partners with the Climate Healers, VCOP Allegiance, In Defense of Animals just joined the Founding Mothers Movement. We're just so excited. And Ajna is delayed, so I'm going to go ahead and speak first. First, let me tell you a little bit about how the Founding Mothers Movement came to be. And let me start by saying it is not another nonprofit. It is not a legal entity. What it is a growing social movement of 4 partner groups. So one of our partner groups are women and children. Then we have peace and democracy groups joining. We also have spiritual and churches joining. And then the last category are the earth-based groups, indigenous groups, and those that are dedicated to saving this planet. We're following essentially the suffragette playbook of about 100 years ago. That was the height of the peace movement in the United States. This is when the Kellogg-Briand Pact was passed. This was supposed to be the treaty to end all wars. And women were the force behind these social change movements. We brainstormed this starting last year, end of last year. It's been about a year now. We learned about Project 2025 early on. The women involved are academics, thought leaders, international attorneys, and the whole project was sort of birthed out of the Evolutionary Leaders Collective. That's a group of thought leaders and futurists. And we proposed a variety of projects. What can the women of the world do and get behind to finally shift this stalled paradigm transition? And the brand Founding Mothers came in. And it's not intended to only be for mothers. It's intended to be, harken back to the founding fathers, not just of America, but of every nation. There weren't many women involved when the mapping and the governance systems were designed. So our goal is to elevate the vision of all the original founding fathers, because back then, patriarchy and privilege were embedded in every governance system in the world. The other reason why we think women are key to the shift is because the social science is in. We know that when women participate, whether it's in a boardroom, in the business setting, or it's in a Congress, in a parliament, in a governance setting, or local communities, food banks, whenever women participate, the discussions are slightly different. The outcomes seem to take more stakeholders into account. And that is why at the top of our list of, quote, demands, to use activist terms, it's the full empowerment of women everywhere on the planet. And that includes reproductive freedom. The second, quote, demand, because we're using some new language, we're calling these our solutions. But the second goal of the Founding Mothers movement is to end war. When we look at the poly crisis and peel all the layers of this now putrid onion that is stinking up the world, at the core, we believe, are women in war, or flipped partnership and peace. And these are the two solutions that once solved, once anchored globally, make all the other elements of the poly crisis remediable. So our goals are very well defined. It is to seek a partnership system as opposed to a patriarchal or a domination or a privilege system. And it is to move us out of militarism into a permanent state of peace. And that requires a lot of thinking. We passed our Founding Mothers Proclamation on October 2nd, which is Gandhi's birthday and International Day of Peace. And once we dug into the details of our two solutions, we recognized and had to deal with the fact that there's no global law. We had to deal with the fact that the United Nations went sideways at inception with the Security Council veto, allowing just a few nations to prevent all nations from reaching consensus on important issues. And most importantly, we had to deal with the fact that the International Court of Justice is a voluntary forum. So until all nations submit to mandatory jurisdiction of a world court, we're not going to see the end of war. So we had 7 lawyers, 7 international attorneys, including the former lead attorney at the United Nations, who's a woman, prepare this document. And we are going to commence campaigns in January 2025 to buttress the power of this document. And we're not going to stop until women are fully empowered around the world and war ends. So I think at this point, it would be nice to show our launch video. I've given you a quickie update on what we've been doing in the last 4 months. We're moving fast. So if you could play our launch video, that would be fantastic. Oh, and Good Eshin is here now. Do you all have it queued up? We had sent it in.
And who's up next?
I think Rebecca maybe was going to show that, but she's having difficulty with her cell phone. Hang on.
Okay. Or Renee. We were told that Renee might be, or is that? Well, we'll keep talking while they get our launch video up.
I'd love Ejna to share about our Indigenous program.
Well, I want to share fully when she's getting ready to launch this. I feel a little constrained.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Thank you.
I'll fill the gap by just
Well,
letting.
if you could answer this one question here, Laura Slit, is there not an international criminal court?
There is, but it too does not have mandatory jurisdiction over the nations of Earth. So when we see these rulings come out of the ICJ or the ICC, you see the nations that have been either spanked publicly or accused of criminal activity, just ignoring the decisions of the court. And that's one of the things that needs to change. The world is lawless at the moment, truly. And that is what permits dictators like Putin to invade another country and basically have no ramifications.
See South Africa bring the case against Israeli about what they're doing in Palestine as being a crime against humanity and winning their case and nothing being able to be done or enforced. So we really have people don't realize that we have a lawless planet.
Yeah. And with regard to women, obviously we all know that not only does every nation treat its female residents differently, in the United States, we now have a patchwork. Yeah, I can literally go I live on the border, and I'm in Virginia, and I live like 9 miles from the North Carolina border. I go to North Carolina, and my rights change with regard to my personal life decisions regarding family. It also changes with regard to my health. Women are dying who need this reproductive and emergency health care. So the status with regard to our 4 billion sisters has just become ludicrous. Well, I think there's don't appear able to get the video going, which is so sad.
No, we can do that.
Oh, can you? Hey, is that
Women
Sailesh?
and men around the world are celebrating.
Is this the one?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Can make it full screen.
Women and men around the world are celebrating the birth of the Founding Mothers movement to secure universal rights for all women and to end war. Simply put, we've had enough of patriarchy and privilege. We will no longer tolerate family violence, sexual assault, child marriage, girls who can't go to school or let their hair down, men depriving us of reproductive freedom, or sacrilege against Mother Earth. The military-industrial complex trains men to kill on command. They're also weaponizing AI. Soldiers rape women as a staple of war, and surviving women and children
Sorry, it's just low.
Sailesh, do you want me to play it?
Sorry, Allison?
I have it on my screen. I can play it if you like.
Okay, could you please? Because we are going
Okay.
through the hotspot and coming back.
Mhm. Okay.
Glad we have some alternatives.
We're grateful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Women and men around the world are celebrating the birth of the Founding Mothers movement to secure universal rights for all women and to end war. Simply put, we've had enough of patriarchy and privilege. We will no longer tolerate family violence, sexual assault, child marriage, girls who can't go to school or let their hair down, men depriving us of reproductive freedom, or sacrilege against Mother Earth. The military-industrial complex trains men to kill on command. They're also weaponizing AI. Soldiers rape women as a staple of war, and surviving women and children are left homeless. The founding fathers of every nation have brought us to where we are. Now, the founding mothers are joining together to lead us into an era of partnership and peace, a future that works for everyone. We're a global coalition, uniting women's groups, peace organizations, spiritual communities, and environmental groups. We're taking action to shed archaic belief systems, transform barbaric behaviors, eradicate misogyny and racism, and protect democracy. Instead of a war room, we're building a peace room. And we're spreading truth, love, and light. We serve as diplomats and peace negotiators, business leaders, elected officials, caregivers, and wisdom keepers. And we've got a concrete plan to grow this into the mother of all movements. First, we wish to honor the Mother's Day proclamation written by Julia Ward Howe. Mother's Day was not created for gift cards and chocolates. It was a call to action for an international Congress of Women to pursue the great and general interest of peace. Second, we're reimagining the Women's Congress. It will network thousands of women's groups around the world. Third, in addition to unifying our sisters around the world, we're inviting our brothers to join us. Stakeholders who lead peace, spiritual, and environmental groups. Just imagine our united strength when we, the people, organize. We'll move mountains if we focus on two specific goals: partnership and peace. Please join the Founding Mothers movement today. If you lead a women's organization, register for our online Women's Congress and help compose the Founding Mothers Manifesto. If you lead a peace, spiritual, or environmental group, enroll your organization in the coalition and help transition humanity from patriarchy to partnership. And if you're an individual who understands that our future is at stake, sign up for our mailing list, donate, volunteer your skill set, and be ready for a series of escalating campaigns starting on January the 1st, 2025. Join the Founding Mothers movement and help transform the world.
Thank you for showing that. And yeah, we'd love to hear from Edge. And I just, before I turn it over to her, want to let you all know today we had our 5th Global Women's Congress, and we were very honored to have Marianne Williamson be the keynote speaker today. And in just 5 months, 4.5 months, we have achieved so much. So please visit us, our website, and Ejna, you tell them some more about what we're up to.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I feel re-inspired every time I watch that. And just to tell you a little bit more about my background as an enrolled member of the Crow Creek Sioux Tribe in South Dakota, and more of an indigenous representative, but an indigenous elder. And indigenous have an inherent strong spiritual relationship with not only the surrounding plants and animals in the local area, but a deep, resonant relationship, an alliance with Earth herself and the elements. When we pray, we invoke the elements because we have a relationship with the elements. And those who have gone deeper into some of the practices, you know, we have these relationships with our alliances, which could be animal consciousnesses or spirits, or plant consciousnesses or spirits, and also all the way up to the star nations. I mean, we have people who absolutely commune with the stars. So, and we know how thirsty our whole human family is for the well springs of spirit, of the love, of the flow of spirit and nurturance. And so this imbalance that's taken place with what we might call toxic masculinity is really needs to be brought into balance, because and our planet, at least since the last ice age, we've only known war. So this adventure and this endeavor that we're entering needs to be brought forward not by war, because that's where we are now. And the attack is not just, the attack is on ourselves, you know, racism, judgment, genocide, but the attack is on our planet. Our attack is on the animals for their skins, their food, the meat. The attack is on the trees. Oh my goodness, the trees. Some trees are actually entering the endangered species list. And they've fed us, they've housed us, they've clothed us, they've kept us warm for all these millennia. So indigenous also really have a whole panoply of ceremonies. And by ceremony, you invite the mystery to come and touch the ego in a certain way. And so it's very intimate, it's very personal. So we're wanting to bring ceremony not only for our personally, but for collective, because we don't really know how to act and plan together very well as a collective. And indigenous, by being community-centered, and we're really recommending community and local organizing. All of our delegates represent local organizations or local communities, so that you can identify your values and work and function together, which we need more. You know, mostly it's been this domination or listening to others, and we want to promote everyone's voice. And I cannot not stop. I have to share more about the children because the children throughout the millennia have been used as labor. They're attacked in war. They're used as hostages by other, you know, as war pawns or as alliances. So the children in us, the child in us, is carrying these wounds. And we have children on the other side of the veil who died in traumatic ways. And so we also need to bring healing at those levels and those dimensions. And that's something that indigenous all over the world recognize. And so there are ceremonies for not only for people to help people in crossing over, but for healing and honoring ancestors and with our spirit allies to bring healing even into these other dimensions. So I know I've introduced areas that we don't always talk about, but actually all of our religions around the world, and certainly indigenous spirituality, embraces this. And so the founding mothers movement is not just about a social movement or political movement or to move these areas, to change them, but it's about inspiriting ourselves for who we truly are. And that's how we need to move forward, is from who we truly are. We are founts of love. We are actually founts of light. And the more we love, the more our light shines, and the more inspiration comes, and the more we connect with the mystery, and the more mystery weaves in synchronicity and miracles. So we're really needing to reach out to indigenous communities, to the youth, and we need to absolutely protect and heal each child in us and across the lands and in our history, and protect the future for all of us and all of our progeny. So thank you. Thank you.
Can you give us a quick time check? Because we started earlier. How long? We wanted Karuna to be able to speak, and also if possible show what the world will look like after the founding mothers succeed in shifting the paradigm. We have a vision video we'd love to show as well, but I'm not sure where we are on time. Are we good?
Yes. You've
Pardon?
got 12 minutes.
Okay, 12 minutes. Go ahead, Karuna. Why don't you take a few minutes, and then we'll show the video and leave a little time for Q&A. Oh, you're on mute.
I'm so honored to be here with you all. And I jumped in early and I heard you speaking about the importance of food and farm to table and really utilizing our joy to prepare our food. And food, you know, we're all talking about bringing the spirit in, aren't we? And Ajna, and just that spirit, you just dive into that water element with Ajna as she speaks, and Laura George, her passion for trying to make something unbelievable work, right? The founding mothers. I mean, unbelievable. And it's going to happen. This woman doesn't stop cutting through her commitments and making us on time all the time. So I just have to say, you know, I'm health and wellness. I'm yoga. I am so grateful for a 40-year practice that started in my early teens and led me to multiple careers, and just needed women around me. And I was so blessed to have such beautiful women around me all my life and in every career. And then I find myself with the founding mothers and developing a program that integrates health and wellness. We are speaking on a level of frequency that we need to nurture and nourish. And all I can say is juicing works. And I've realized that juicing can happen 5 or 6 times a day, folks. I mean, it's crazy how much juice you can drink for your liver, kidneys, adrenals, stamina, sleep, everything, and just feel the blessing and nurturing of that water element in the juice. So there's a mantra called Satanama. And if you just take your fingers here into this, what this is called Christ mudra, but has nothing, it's just higher self. And you bring your thumb over your ring and your index, ring in your pinky, which is Sun and Mercury. And the other 2 fingers, these are your tattvas. folks. These are not just fingers and sacred hands. This is a tool. And that index finger is Jupiter and that middle finger is Saturn. And just feel that as you go through the rest of this moment that we're taking you, hold this mudra. This is our founding mother's mudra. The 3 fingers, so that would be Jupiter, Saturn, and Sun energy. And id is your thumb, so you hold down the Mercury finger, which is your communication finger. So let's just hold this one, actually, because we're going to watch a video now, and we're going to feel the energy of these 3 tattvas pointing towards the heavens. Our feet are grounded. Let's take a tall seat and feel the blessing as you watch with your eyes open over the tip of the nose, activate optic nerve, and look at the video and enjoy.
Do we have?
So as we're waiting for this video to come up, the mantra, take just 2 fingers here and hold yourself here. This is a meditation for the positive mind, okay? Take your fingers here. Let's elevate as we wait for the video. So we wait for nothing, right? And we use this mantra, Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. And Sa is infinity, Ta is life, Na is death, and Ma, of course, mother, is birth. So when you chant this mantra, you place this awareness, and you can use your voice now, your 5th chakra, to open up your physical body, to activate a positive mind. Satanama, 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 Satanama. Are we ready with the video? Satanama, Satanama. Nice to see you. Let me see your mudra. Satanama, beautiful. Satanama. And take a beautiful inhale and cross your heart. And feel
which video
practice.
this is?
It's ready?
Which video is the next one?
It's the vision video.
Is it
The
the
vision
video.
Yeah.
I can play the vision video. Okay.
Thank you. So practice this positive mind and open your heart and feel this positive self out of this mind and bring it back to your heart. And as we watch with this gesture of happiness, this is great history and is said to have been practiced by spiritual leaders, including Buddha and Christ. Let's integrate our positive mind in everything we do. Now you have a tool. Satanama. Satnam.
The year is 2030, and the Founding Mothers Movement has successfully shifted the paradigm. We have achieved a great victory. We have fully empowered women around the world, and we have stopped an evil that no people before us were able to prevent. We have ended war. Women now have universal gender equity. Women have bodily autonomy and reproductive choice. Laws are in place to prevent child marriage. Cultures forbid family violence and genital mutilation, and relationships between women and men enter a field of understanding and compassion. For the first time in human history, our precious planet is at peace. The military-industrial complex is now a peacekeeping force, and men no longer are asked to kill their brothers. As a result, there is ample money available for healthcare, daycare, and elder care. Schools are being built around the world to educate all girls. Projects abound and are fully funded to provide novel green infrastructure and protect the commons. Artificial intelligence is properly monitored and employed for benevolent projects that enhance life on Earth. Now Mother Earth can regenerate. Animal, plant, and ocean life are revived and add to the euphoria of this new golden age. All my relations, one of the original instructions, is a lesson taught in every school, along with mindfulness. There now exists a universal inner knowing that together we can accomplish anything. Planetary governance has reached a new level of inclusion, collaboration, and coordination. The nation-state system yields to regional and local models of self-organization. Intentional communities and cottage industries abound, creating self-sufficient economies. Globalization now means that we are one species with one shared destiny. Personal freedom is intertwined with responsibility, which we gladly share as members of one human family. The news story is told far and wide. Our children know it by heart. Songs are written in its honor. Truth, love, and light reign on earth. As above, so below. Join the Founding Mothers movement and help transform the world.
Okay. That was just incredible. I am so inspired. I am so inspired. Satnam. Satnam.
Satnam, Satnam, Satnam.
From one
Thank
Kundalini
you.
yoga teacher to another. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Jean.
All right, we have questions from the audience. And we only have a few minutes. So Paige, did you want to come up? Come on. I have a question. Yeah, then we have another question. Come on up, Paige.
Thank you so much for your work. I remember hearing about you through the Vegan Women's Summit as well. So thank you so much. My question is about the reproductive rights of female animals. And I was wondering your stance for the mother cows whose milk is destined for their babies. And the babies, so not just cows, but goats and now camels, mothers. So I just wanted to understand your, addressing this. So thank you.
Thank you, Paige.
Yeah, one of our delegates is Rebecca Allen. And I think it was the second we've only had 5. Today was the 5th. I think it was during the second Congress, she proposed the protection of the mother of all species platform, which is a beautiful statement about what you're talking about, Paige, that the mothers of all species, not just human, are being abused, essentially. So that passed with flying colors. It is part of our platform. We've passed about, I think today was our 8th. Yeah. Today was our 8th proposal. We passed our first campaign proposal today. So yes, Rebecca's got you covered in Congress, but the more the merrier. Anyone listening who is the threshold, we had to set a threshold. So the threshold we set is 25 people. If you're in a group with 25 or more people, that qualifies you to send a delegate to the Congress. I mean, we're expecting like thousands of women to join. So we had to we had to set the bar somewhere. So please come and join us. If Climate Healers has chapters, I think you do, like the large organizations like Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. There's 3 branches of WILF in the Women's Congress right now. So that's totally acceptable. And then we ask men to join the operational circles. So men are definitely included and are helping lead the Founding Mothers movement as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And, you know,
We have a
Founding Mothers
question.
Movement talks
We-
about
we-
all around here. It's all
We
buzz
have-
in my ear, and I'm looking forward to hearing even more about it.
We have a question in the
The
chat.
other two, Ejna or Haruna, did either of you want to comment on that question?
Well, I was hoping maybe we could address one more question.
Yes, we do have another question, Jane.
What I asked, which it's very similar to what Paige asked, but what I'd like to ask is, I've tried to open certain women's groups, feminist groups, and as a gay person, LGBTQ groups to vegan concepts, and there sometimes seems to be a wall. And when it comes to feminism in particular, a mantra of feminism is rape is rape. And all the cows on factory farms are raped into existence. They're not making love on these factory farms. Workers literally shove, and the males are exploited too because they masturbate them.
Yeah.
And they shove the sperm against the will into the body of these cows, and then they take the babies away when they're born. So I call factory farming a rape, abduction, and murder operation. But there seems to be a wall in feminist groups making that connection. Can you address that at all?
Thank you, Jane.
No wall here. No wall here.
And we're also not feminist.
Well, speak for yourself, Karuna. I'm a feminist, but no
Well,
wall
I
here.
mean it as only a group of feminists. We're diverse.
That's what I wanted to say next. Very diverse. And so we need to permit flexibility. If we're truly going to grow a global movement, we need to accept our sisters and brothers, our allies, differences, some of which might be annoying to us. But in order to spread truth, love, light, get us into this next paradigm, we're not going to all agree on every single point. And we need to accept that. There's unity in diversity, and that is the goal. But there's no wall of founding mothers with veganism, and protection of animals is absolutely foremost in the fourth group, the environmental group that's represented.
I think what you're really addressing is the cruelty. And I think what you're addressing is cruelty to animals, and that we do not condone cruelty to anything. I mean, this movement is about compassion, partnership, and so along with that is honoring the sacredness of all things. And so any kind of cruelty, and what you're talking about in this way that they're forcibly impregnating and then removing the babies, to me, that is cruel, but we're not here campaigning just about that specifically, because we have these other issues in just to try and stop war, which is, I feel like it's probably embedded in that, but yes, yeah.
I just want to say one thing on the back of that. Having been a former cattle rancher, we're the first documented beef cattle ranch to go vegan in the world, to live to tell about it. Our story's been translated into multiple languages, and I am so inspired by this founding mothers movement. I want to tell you that when I had an awakening on a cattle ranch, I have studied yoga for almost 4 decades. I speak Sanskrit, Gurmukh. I was in all sorts of, yoga teacher trainings, studios, and ahimsa was always, taught to us. Ahimsa, nonviolence. And what I've learned since I've gone vegan for the animals, honestly, is that ahimsa means nonviolence, period. It means nonviolence, period. Not just to humans. And One of the things that I learned from Dr. Will Tuttle, who is a dear friend of mine, is that thousands of years ago, the word war actually meant the desire for more animals. When you go back 10,000 years, the word war interpreted the desire for more animals, because thousands of years ago, they started herding animals, and that's what brought all of the animal agriculture as we know it into existence today. And so as a former cattle rancher, I understand both sides, and I'm just here to say thank you so much for your open mind, for your willingness to shed this wonderful light onto our earth. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Founding Mothers.